Morning, Facebook. It's Anna here. Good morning. How you doing? How are you doing? I am doing amazingly, and I am in the mood for a smackdown. I am in the mood for a Sunday smackdown. Oh, wait. My gosh, it's Monday here. Oh, my God. Just ignore what I just wrote. It's messing with me because of the public holiday we've got going on here on a Monday. So ignore the title. It is, in fact, Monday here in Melbourne in Australia. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We can call it whatever we want. It doesn't matter. And especially if you're watching this on a replay or you're watching this on YouTube when it goes up later on, then it really won't matter, will it? No, because the time is now. That is it. There is only now. And so we're just going to forget that I got the wrong day. We're just going to forget that. Okay? Good, good. I'm glad that we've agreed upon that. All right. So it's going to be reasonably short, I think, but I want to come on and have a bit of a smackdown around asking for what you want, right? So deciding that you're going to create the life that you want. Whoop, sorry, alarm's going off. Deciding that you want something, right? Deciding what you want and being really specific and asking the universe for what you want. And then when the universe freaking brings it to you, you're like, oh, no, that can't be right. That's a bit scary. That's a bit, I don't know, whatever, right? You talk yourself out of it. That's a bit scary. That's a bit too hard. I don't know how to do that. That wasn't what I was expecting. Here's the thing. Every time you put conditions on how something needs to manifest in your life that you've asked for, whether it's financial manifestation. So you want to attract more money into your life, or you want a better relationship, or you want a relationship that's amazing, or your fitness or your health, you want to have the body of your dreams, whatever it is. Every time you ask for something like that and you make it really specific and you ask for exactly what you want, stop putting so many conditions on it. And you don't even realize a lot of the time that you do this. And I used to do this a lot, which is why I feel very, very sure that I am able and allowed and giving myself permission to do this smackdown, because it wasn't until I pulled myself up on this shit on myself that my life went in the direction that it's in now, where I have financial freedom, where I'm going location free, where I get to help others do the same thing every single day, right? This didn't just happen because I sat around and kept asking for it and kept turning away when the opportunity came up. No, this happened because I actually took the opportunity by the balls and I went with it, right? And so when you tell yourself, okay, yeah, I want, for example, X amount of money or whatever it is per month coming in or whatever it is, and then something comes up that basically is the universe bringing it to you, right? And you can feel, like if you actually take a moment to actually tune into yourself, you can feel that it's the right decision, and you know that this is something that is meant for you, and you can feel it, right? However, you get into your humanness and you get into your ego, and you let your ego take over and start telling you all the reasons why, no, this isn't a good idea, this is a bit scary, there's a bit too much risk, this could go wrong, or this could go wrong, and what if this happens, and I'm fearful about this. And basically you just get into your own ego and into your own head, and you talk yourself out of it, right? You talk yourself out of your intuition, out of your gut feeling, out of what your soul knows is right for you. And you're basically telling the universe, oh, well, actually, I'm going to put a condition on it that what I've asked for, I want, but it can only happen this way. This is how it has to happen. And here's the thing, right? The universe, source, God, whatever you want to call it, is limitless. It has absolutely no capacity. Hey, Craig, thanks for jumping on. It has absolutely no capacity for limits or conditions. It doesn't need any. It is limitless. It will bring you everything you want at the moment you want it. Even before you ask, it is already given, right? But we as humans and our ego likes to put conditions on things because it's something that we get taught as we grow older, right? We don't get born with these limits and these conditions about how we can be abundant, how we can be joyful, how we can be fit and healthy and everything like that. That's stuff that we get programmed into us because we decide to take it on from stuff that our parents tell us, or our relatives tell us, or our friends tell us, or our teachers tell us, or whatever it is. People in our life come to us with these limitations and we decide to take them on. That's all it is. It's just choices of stuff that we've decided to believe, conditions that we've decided to implement and go, well, okay, but I want abundance, but it has to be also not at all scary. It has to be not at all out of my comfort zone. It has to be no risk or anything involved like that. We put all these conditions on it, right? And so the universe is here. It's trying to bring us exactly what we ask for. But when it comes to us, we go, no. I think if I think about this rationally, if I think about this logically, if I get into my ego and let it come up with all the fearful stuff about why this won't work, and if I listen to that, it's telling me not to go ahead. Even though my intuition, even though your soul, even though your inner being knows, yes, go do this. Yes, this is right for you. Stop listening to your ego. Stop listening to the logical. Stop listening to all the rational stuff, which is really not rational or logical. It's purely just based on fears that you've programmed into yourself based on past experiences, right? So you might have done something in the past that was scary, that was risky or whatever, and it didn't work out. Hell, I think we've all done that. If you haven't, it's about time to start doing some risky shit, I think. We've all done that, right? We've all been in that position. And so you've maybe been in that position where in the past you did something risky, you did something out of your comfort zone, and it didn't work out well, right? It scared you. Something failed, something didn't work, God forbid. And you decided to believe that, well, now that means risky stuff is scary. I have to be really, I have to have all of my ducks in a row. I have to have everything perfect. I have to be perfect all the fucking time. Trust me, I've had that belief. And I can't trust myself that I can make the right decision based on my intuition, based on what is right for me, right? And you put these conditions and you put these limits and you put these rules on what you want to manifest. And the universe has nothing left to work with, right? Because here it is, it's trying to send you all this stuff. Say hi if you're jumping on, by the way. It's trying to send you all this stuff that you're asking for, that you're, for example, journaling on and affirming and focusing on and meditating on. And it's trying to bring it to you. And then when it shows up, you're like, oh no, that's not exactly how I wanted it to look. So I'm going to go with no. Hey, Troy, morning or afternoon. And yes, I'm very aware that it is in fact Monday. I have discovered that momentarily ago. Right. And this is something that I guess I've realized more powerfully over the past few months, because I made a bunch of decisions that was scary as fuck and that put me well out of my comfort zone, and made decisions, for example, like going location free, like deciding to just, sell all our stuff and just travel, because that's exactly what we've always wanted to do, to have that location freedom and have the finances to support us. But making that decision when it feels scary, when there's risk, when there's all this logical ego stuff coming up, that's scary, right? But I knew deep down very quickly, and you know this, like if you're not in the habit of tuning into what you want, start it, right? And all it takes is just being still with yourself and feeling. And you can feel it, like some people feel it in their chest, some people feel it in other areas of their body, but if you ask yourself, is this the right choice for me? You'll feel it. There will be either this sort of anxiety and this kind of resistance that's like, no, that's not for me. Or it'll feel light, it'll feel peaceful, it'll feel like, yeah, this is it, right? And this doesn't mean that it's not going to be scary. I have worked deeply on my anxiety in the last few, weeks, especially since making this decision to go location free and to travel freely and all that kind of stuff. I've had a lot of my anxiety stuff come back up because it's fucking scary. We have a lot to organize. We have a lot to do. We have a lot of mindset blocks to work through to really, really breathe into this and allow this. But you need to make that choice, right? And you need to make that choice from what is really in your intuition, what is really talking to you and saying this is right, regardless of the fear, regardless of the ego, regardless of what your emotions and stuff are coming up and being scared of something, being untrusting of something, whatever it is. That's just human shit that we've put conditions on. That's all it is. It's just stuff that you've trained yourself to believe based on previous experiences, right? And here's the thing, it's just a choice. It's just a choice, right? Laurie says, oh wow, you're right on time with this message. Cool. Troy says, well done on taking that leap. Thank you. And you too, obviously. Troy took that leap, I know, a little earlier than I did. And, it's exactly the same thing. I highly doubt that he went through anything easier, right? That it is scary, but there is nothing worth having that your soul knows is right for it if it's not scary, if it's not taking you out of your comfort zone. Because I think I've posted something on this. I put up a quote that I came up with, but I'm sure someone said it very similarly in the past, that your comfort zone is actually just the chains that bind you, right? So it's people think that their comfort zone is their little safety net, that it's somewhere that, you know, really makes you feel warm and cuddly and whatever it is. No, your safety net, your comfort zone is in fact the chains that are binding you. It is the stuff that you are wrapping yourself up in, and you think that you're warm and cuddly and safe and whatever it is, but in fact it's actually holding you, it's stopping you from going anywhere else. It's actually just chaining you to your current situation and preventing you from going any further. And that's not to say that your current situation isn't awesome, because it is. You have to love everything about your situation right now in order to have the abundance and whatever else that you want in your life in the future. Absolutely. However, if you actually are at the point where you're just in your comfort zone and you're just refusing to go anywhere else, you're refusing to allow yourself to move into the fear, lean into the fear, lean into whatever's feeling like, this is scary, this is out of my comfort zone, but I know that it's right for me. If you're refusing to do that, you're forever going to be in your comfort zone, forever in your safety net, forever in the chains that bind you. That's just the reality. At some point, you're going to have to make a choice, and you're making the choice every day. Either you step out of it or you don't. I don't mean you have to constantly be doing stuff that scares you, but when something comes up and it's scary and you know that you have to do it and you know that it's right for you and you still say no to it, you're telling the universe, I don't actually want this. Thanks for bringing it to me. Thanks for bringing exactly what I've asked for. Not exactly in the way that I thought it was going to be, but I know it's right for me, but I'm just going to refuse it. I'm just going to say no. I'm going to talk myself out of it, and I'm going to put a whole lot of conditions and rules and limitations on this. And the universe goes, oh, all right, well, I mean, I tried. I thought you wanted this, but obviously you don't. And you've just made it harder now, right? Because the universe is limitless. It can bring you everything you want in such a multitude of ways that you may have never thought of, right? I never thought that I would be running this business. This isn't what I ever thought I would be doing. I had a huge kind of idea about how my business was going to grow, and I do in terms of my coaching and everything. That's all really, you know, that's something that I've thought of and that I've planned into and leaned into for a long time. But in terms of this business that's making it possible for me to now travel and do this, and to have the time and location freedom to do whatever I want, and to be able to retire my husband and that kind of stuff, that wasn't something that I thought I would ever be doing. But when the opportunity came up, because I was asking for it, because I was journaling on it, because I was asking for this stuff day after day, I was affirming what I wanted. When this opportunity came up, I chose to lean into it, into what felt right, and go, all right, this isn't how I always pictured it. Yeah, it's, you know, it feels risky, it feels scary, it feels out of my comfort zone, but it feels right. And that's what you have to lean into and trust. And the universe will reward you for that, right? It will reward you with more and more and more, because it's trying to show you the next step. It's trying to show you where to move forward to. But if every time it gives you the next step, you go, oh, no, that's not right, and you run in the opposite direction or just completely refuse it, the next step's not going to come after that. It's going to keep trying to give you the next step forward until you actually take it, right? And that might take a very long time, and then you're not going to progress any further. Let me check some comments here. Where are we? Troy says, success is built outside your comfort zone. Exactly. Long weekend throws everyone. Yeah. We're going to ignore that. It's definitely Monday. We have worked this out. It is definitely Monday. And I'll have to leave it now, because otherwise people watching the replay are going to be like, what's she talking about? I can't change it. I'll have to leave it as a Sunday Smackdown. I'm sorry. You're just going to have to reapply this all to your Sunday, I think. And Troy says, the vehicle to be able to follow your passions in life. Yeah, exactly. And so that's I think that's it. That's kind of what, there was something else. There was something else in this Smackdown that I felt coming up. Yeah, here it is. Fear, right? It's a choice. Fear or faith is a choice. And I see this very often, because obviously this is something that I had to work through. So now I'm seeing reminders of it come up a lot, right? And there's a lot of people that are making decisions about how to move forward in their life, right? And every time I talk to someone, and I withhold judgment, because I have been judged so much in my life, because I know I did judge a lot of the time. And this came with being in the fitness and health industry, that I would judge people a lot for not making the right choices, or what I consider the right choices, not taking the real steps, and not actually committing themselves to what they say they want, right? For a long time, I just wanted the best for people, and I couldn't help but judge when they didn't actually take the steps and they didn't actually do the work that they said they wanted. So I know that there was a lot of judgment going on, and therefore I felt very judged. And there's been a lot of, karma coming back through that about different people that I thought were going to be in my corner, that I thought were going to support and love and encourage me on this. But really, it was the same kind of thing reverting back, that I was judging people. And so I was attracting that judgment back onto myself. However, I see it quite a lot when opportunities come up, and especially when I talk to people about, this business that I'm running, the online 90% automated business, right? There's so many opportunities with it, and there's so many people in different areas, right? Like, there's single mums doing this. There's families that are working 9 to 5 that are going into this because they want to free themselves from the 9 to 5 and spend time with their family, with their kids. It's not even just all about travel. It's, for a lot of people, it's just about having time. Like, I don't have kids, right? It's just me and my husband. So for us, it's about travel and freedom and bringing this opportunity to as many people as we can, so that as many people as possible can be free on their own terms. However, for some people, like I said, they have families, they have kids, they don't want to be working constantly for the rest of their life, missing their child growing up, right? So they just want some time back. They just want that kind of side of things. And the fact that it's 90% automated, oh, that's my garage opening. Sorry, I got distracted. That's what it is for a lot of people, is whatever time and location, time and money freedom means to you is personal. It's not something that anyone can tell you how to do. Obviously, because of the view that I have and the way that I want to live my life, I attract a lot of people who also want that location freedom, that want to be able to travel wherever they want and experience all the different cultures, all the different countries, all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, it's whatever you want, right? And I know how scary it is. I really do. I get how scary it is to bet on yourself, right? And that's really what you're doing, is when you're trusting your intuition, when you're trusting your gut, is when you're choosing above all else, above all of the rules and all of the conditions and all of the pre-programmed stuff and how society works and how it has to work and blah, blah, blah. You're choosing to bet on yourself. And that can be really scary if you haven't done it before. If you've always, like me in the past, I always followed the rules. I was the most goody two-shoes person in the world. Hi, husband. Matt's just come home. And like I grew up and I had straight A's on everything. A's weren't good enough if an A+ was possible. I followed every single rule. I wanted every single line dotted and everything like that. And I followed everybody else's rules, and that was the problem, right? I wasn't actually trusting myself to go, no, I want something different, right? I always knew that I wanted something different. I always knew that I wanted this to work out differently for me, my life to have more than just working for the next 40 years for someone else and then retire and die and not actually get to live and experience all the things that I want and change all the lives that I know I am destined to be changing, right? But if I hadn't let go of this idea that there has to be conditions, that there has to be rules, that what I ask for has to come to me only in a particular way and there has to be really, really strict rules, I wouldn't have given the universe the opportunity to bring me what it has, right? And to bring this opportunity to me that I decided to take up, right? And that's the really, really important part. The universe will keep bringing you what you ask for. And if you keep shooting it down, you're never going to get there. You're never going to get to the next step, right? And choosing to move forward in faith as opposed to fear is your choice. It is a choice that we all make constantly, every single day. You do it out of every single choice that you make day to day. You choose whether this choice is going to be moving forward in fear or in faith. It's always one or the other, right? And so every time you make a choice based on fear, you attract a little more fear into your life. You attract a little bit more to be scared of, a little bit more to be worried about, a little bit more to be concerned about, right? Every time you make a choice based on faith and what you know inside is right for you, the universe brings you more. It brings you more faith-based things. It brings you more stuff that is actually in line with you. It gives you the next step and it keeps moving you forward, right? Trudy says, so much gratitude for your advice. You're welcome, Trudy. Troy says, manifest rather than just visualize. Yes, exactly. And this is something that so many people miss, right? Is the idea, oh my God, I gave my mum the best smackdown the other day. Actually, yesterday, I gave my mum this very smackdown, right? Where I said, the universe has brought you all this stuff, all these opportunities, all this stuff that is like, here it is, you've asked for this, here it is, here's the path, follow this. and you're not doing it. You're not doing anything, right? The part with manifestation that people don't realize is you can't, unless if the only thing that you have as a rule is that you have to sit on your ass on the couch and you want to manifest $1 million, but it has to come to you while you're sitting on your ass on the couch, you're kind of giving the universe not a lot to work with. And it's going to be very limited, and, you know, it's going to be a bit hard for it to organize that for you. If you just choose to ask the universe to bring you the $1 million in the most aligned and perfect way for you, that it knows what is right for you, right? Then you're giving it a lot more options. And it may not be what you expected. It may not be the way that you thought it was going to work out. But if it comes to you and you get inspiration to take some kind of aligned action, right? So something comes to you and you're like, ooh, I should go do that. Ooh, maybe I should find out more about this. Whatever it is, if you go do that, that is taking aligned action. That takes you to the next step of manifesting. That brings you closer and closer to this. But if every time that something comes up and, you know, you get that inspiration that, oh, this is something, I should find out more about this. I feel like this is something I should be looking into, even if it makes no sense or seems weird or whatever. If you just decide to ignore that and take no action, then you can't receive. Taking action is the last step of manifesting, and it is the receiving of it, right? You cannot ever receive if you're not taking action. People think that you have to do all these things, have this list of to-do lists to manifest something. No. Manifesting and at the last step of receiving what you've asked for is actually taking the action, right? And if you're never taking the action, if you're just sitting around manifesting and hoping that it comes to you without you doing anything, you're constantly missing that last step of actually receiving what it is that you want. I know this last bit can be confusing. It took me a few goes to actually understand this. I highly recommend, I talk about this book all the time, A Happy Pocket Full of Money. My God, I need to start running like an affiliate thing with this, the amount of times I mention that book. But seriously, if you want to get a grasp on this and how manifestation works, I really, really recommend reading that book because it's incredible and it'll explain this in more detail, because I don't want to talk forever about this whole concept of why receiving is actually taking action. It's the last step because it is a bit complicated and it can take a little bit to explain. So I'll leave that there. Yeah, Troy says implementing action steps. Exactly. Aligned action steps, right? So the stuff that when it comes up and you feel called to do it, you go do it. You don't tell yourself, you don't talk yourself out of it. You don't tell yourself, no, I can't do that, whatever it is. No, you go do it. You take the aligned action. You stop stopping yourself. Stop stopping yourself. Seriously. That's it. Yeah. So that's it. Go follow your intuition. When something comes up, when something sounds good, when, I don't know, you're listening to me and you're watching me, and like, I know right now I'm just sitting here like in my backyard, which I do need to clean, obviously. But, you know, we're just a few months away now from going location free. So everything is getting sold and everything's a bit of a mess, right? But, you know, very soon, within, 3 months or so, you're going to be seeing me all over the world. We're going to Europe first, and then New York, we're going to US, we're going to Canada, we're going to do all this stuff, and you're going to be seeing me in different locations. And the only reason that I ever got there and the only reason that I did that is because I decided and because I chose to lean into the fear when it came up and just went, well, all right, you know what, this feels good and I'm going to go do this and I'm going to try this. And, don't get me wrong, a whole lot of my friends and a whole lot of acquaintances and a whole lot of everyone was like, what the fuck is this? What are you doing? Like, what is this 90% automated online system that you don't have to sell anything and there's, no tech experience needed? What is this? And there's doubt, and that's fine. And that's all just pre-programmed stuff. And I had that doubt as well. I absolutely did. However, I chose to move out of my pre-programmed limiting beliefs and to move forward in faith and to move forward in what is actually what I know is right for me. Despite what everybody else thinks, despite whatever rules I grew up on, despite all the beliefs that I had when I was growing up about I have to be perfect, I have to follow all of the rules, I have to work hard for money, you have to sacrifice in order to have good money, you can't just have it easy and fun and effortless and just living life the way you want it. No, it has to be hard. All this stuff, right? This was all me. This was all exactly who I was for such a long time. And if I hadn't taken the leap to actually just lean into myself and be like, okay, no, I want to find out more about this system. I want to find out more about this platform. Let's just see where this goes. Let's just lean into it. Let's just, watch the free webinar, which is where it started, and all that kind of stuff. And then just feel into it, right? Does this feel right? Does this not feel right? Stop the limits, stop the conditions, stop all of the stuff in your head where you tell yourself it has to be a certain way and otherwise it's just not good enough, right? Because it's all just stuff that you've made up. It's all stuff that we've all made up. And, you know, you might have not made it up for yourself originally. It may have been implemented to you from your parents or from your friends or from your teachers or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, you're the one who chose to take it on. You're the one who just chose to decide that these are now the conditions and rules and limits on your life. And the universe doesn't need that shit. It doesn't need your limits. It doesn't need your conditions. It doesn't need any of that stuff. It just needs you to decide what you want, ask for it, and then when it comes up, do it. Do it. Lean into it. Trust your intuition. Trust it. Otherwise, what the hell's the point of manifesting and wanting to manifest stuff if, in fact, you are not trusting that the universe is going to bring you anything? What's the point in that? You either trust it or you don't. You either choose faith or you choose fear. It's one or the other. You got to decide. No one else can do it for you. And that's about it. That is where I'm going to leave it. Cool. Smackdown. Done. Smackdown. Finished. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. It is a Monday, but we had a Sunday Smackdown because it just sounds better. And I'm sure that in the US or whatever, if you're watching this, it might still be Sunday. So therefore, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. I'm going to leave it there. Hope you have an amazing day, whatever the rest of the day, whatever you're up to. I'll talk to you guys really soon. And remember, live life on purpose.